This is CBS News reporting.
Is that sensitive? It can't be louder.
December 7th, 1994.
Well, you know, he retired around then.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I missed the significance. I think we can.
Mike, you said, and that's the way it is. So I.
Oh,
that's
that's
the way
what,
it is.
right. And that's the way.
I don't even know what I say. So we're ready to move ahead. We've got a quorum. It's after 3:45, so let's start. So
I'm still here.
order. Has everyone read the minutes from the October meeting?
Yes.
I have. How come I'm not in them?
Yeah. That's one of the things that I was going to say is that I'm both present and absent, and I was absent, and Paul is not there at all.
And I was there.
That explains my mistake, because I looked at it and I went, this is wrong, but I don't know what is right about it. So I'm going to send it to you and you guys tell me what I did wrong.
I think you were just testing us, Matt,
Yeah.
to see if we actually read the minutes.
All right,
Well, that's
Matt, will you correct those minutes and then we can approve them as they are right now, I believe, if somebody wants to put a motion in.
I'll motion to approve with the edit.
Second. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Paul
any
Heaton,
opposed?
question. Are you on the investment committee?
I
Yes,
am,
he is.
yes.
You are, yes? That's affirmative?
Yeah, I
I
told
am,
Terry.
yes, that's affirmative. I talked with Terry and he confirmed that I am. So,
Okay.
All right.
Mike, who motioned and seconded, please?
Well,
I motioned.
Peter motioned. And Paul, you seconded?
sure.
Well, I don't know. Whoever did, speak up.
Paul did.
Paul did. All right. So, let's go right to treasure reports.
We actually did we vote?
What?
Did we vote?
We did, yes.
Yeah, we
Matt.
did.
All right. I just want to make sure.
Good too.
So I sent a treasurer's report as I do 6 or 8 times a year. So we ran a deficit of like $43,000 last year. But we reported net income of $57,000 because we had the matching fund come in. But I want everybody on this board to know we had a $43,000 loss this year, which is not that different from other years. I think some of it is related to people stepped up the matching contribution and they held back this year. Okay. But I think we have Mary Patel on staff and a little more heft in our capacity. And I think we have to do better with fundraising. We just have to.
Well, we haven't sent out the fundraising appeal yet this year.
The
and that should
fundraising
be
appeal, the fundraising appeal we do in December is for fiscal year 26. So I'm talking about fiscal year 25.
Oh, really? Okay. So just so so you mentioned the letter. The letter has gone out.
okay.
It went out yesterday and today. I got a few more stragglers I got to put in, but they're now in the mail.
What kind of letterhead did you use? Because you never responded to my text about letterhead.
The official letterhead of TPAC with the sales on it.
Okay.
You want to see it? I'll go get it.
No, you don't have to go get it. Don't waste your time.
It's right there.
Okay.
But back to the treasurer's report. We also, at the last board meeting, formed an investment committee of Paul, Terry, and myself. And Terry and I could not recall that Paul was on the investment committee. So we met and we reviewed investment policy statements. And we determined that the investment committee was going to recommend to the board that we have a 65% equity and 35% cash and fixed income allocation, which is very different than the posture we have now. We probably have an excess of 90% equity allocation. And we do depend on the account to supplement operations from time to time. Pat Clark usually requests several times a year, a $10,000 infusion to our operating account. So I don't know where it is on the agenda, but Terry's going to talk about the investment policy statement, which is really how a board judges a manager.
Terry was here, but now he's not.
So we don't
Oh,
actually care about everybody's personal opinion about investing. We want to set a standard by which a manager is judged, and the board's role is to monitor and to oversee and make sure the manager is, meeting the benchmark in terms of the investment policy statement, which is not something a lot of small boards understand. Larger boards, as Terry, as Mark Narenhausen can talk to, have a fully functioning investment committee. We do not. But at some point on the agenda, we're asking Terry to share the investment policy statement and lead that discussion. So,
may I just say, Mike?
Yeah.
Could you send me a copy of that letterhead?
Well,
Because it's different than any of the letterhead that anybody sent me. And I do think as Nina and I and Mary come up with a style guide, we need to settle on a letterhead.
well, I hope you
We do
stick with
not
this.
want
because-
TPAC to think, we don't want TPAC to come across as an organization that lives out of its car. So we need to agree on a letterhead.
Well, I have a whole case of letterhead in my car.
Like, you mean printed letterhead?
Yeah.
Oh, Mary needs that.
Well, I have a case that I got from Julian, and then I had
Okay.
another case printed, and then I got 4 cases of envelopes printed with letterhead. So
That's awesome. So you have the official letterhead at the moment, and Mary
Right.
needs some of that.
and I
So
will be
you can print
returning
things
it
on it.
back to TPAC, hopefully this
Awesome.
Friday or Saturday. Okay.
Thank you. And you don't have any digital files of that letterhead, do you?
I might.
I can recreate it if you send me a picture of
Yeah,
it.
I think I might. I saw that, but this whole changing computers this week it's a nightmare. I'm kind of lost at the moment.
I understand. All right.
Karen, I just tried to send that to you. Karen, did you get it when I emailed it to
You
you?
sent
You
me a
didn't get
great
it?
thing, yes, but it doesn't match
It-
what Mike sent out, and it doesn't match
Oh,
the stuff I
I
got.
didn't.
So,
I didn't see what you held up, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. so I mean, it kind
where
of
are you,
matches,
Kevin?
but not quite. So we're good. We're good. We're gonna get
Yep.
there.
I just want Kevin to see what you have.
I think that the treasurer's report was superseded by the style guide discussion.
That's your
All right.
wife, Peter.
Are you done?
I think that was done.
You got anything else, or anybody have any comments?
I like the idea of the policy that was just set out right now. I think that's exactly it. If for the board simply to approve on the allocation, then leave it up to the manager and we evaluate the manager based on results. I think that's a really great approach.
Okay. All right, buildings and grounds, Terry.
I'm sorry.
Terry, who's doing the buildings and grounds?
There's no report at this time. Nothing much has occurred. I'm trying to think. There was one issue with the air conditioning unit. Brian Mann was able to step in and fix it really quick before the veterans program. That's about it.
All right.
Unless Terry, you have something else that you know of, I'm not sure I have anything else to report.
Yeah, nothing to report. I didn't do much this month, given I exited the island.
Yeah. All right. You sent in a report for fundraising, right? Revenue. Okay. All right. So we'll go next to governance and
Yeah,
bylaws. I'm sorry.
I think that's the bylaw discussion, and I
Yep.
want to thank Terry for really handling that, and Matt for putting the drafts together. And so I think that's been circulated, and I don't know what the procedure is for discussing it right now. Matt, do you know what
It's on new business, so
Yep.
Okay.
if you
we'll leave it for then.
Okay. All right, fundraising.
Okay, reporting on that, again, a big thanks to both Karen and Nina for polishing the letter that Mike just mailed out to the donor list. And really, to what Peter was saying uh, earlier, if you know of people that attend the TPAC, go to events, but you're not sure that they're on the donor list, shoot Mike contact information, street address, mail-in address, email, phone. Let's add whomever we can, and really incumbent upon us to help raise funds. So friends, neighbors, family members, etc., by all means, please do see if we can add them to our fundraising efforts. In terms of the testimonials, I know that Donna Russell as well as Steve Rice are very willing and able to provide a testimonial. But I know, Kevin, you've had a busy month and we're probably looking at December. So we decided to move forward with a fundraising letter without testimonials, but still hopeful to get testimonials to post them on the website, do radio spots, and use a written form in the next fundraising drive.
Tim Van, I'm not sure I'm going to say that name right. The principal of the school. I spoke with him a couple Saturdays ago. He's very anxious. He's not anxious, interested in participating, but we need to contact him through Sue Cornell. And then I told him we want to do all of them at one time. And he said, just tell me when. But like I have stated before, we need to have someone to interview them, kind of write the testimonial, make sure they agree with it, so that it's now just a matter of them reading it, rehearsing it, and not having to make it up on the fly. So if you want to just put that in your notes, that when the time comes, to make sure that he's contacted.
Thanks much for reaching out to him.
Yeah, he never got my messages, but I did talk to him. I saw him at the coffee shop or Red Cup, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do that." So
cool.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, portfolio management.
Just quickly. I wanted to make sure we knew exactly who was on the marketing and fundraising committee. So as far as I know, it's Terry, me, Kayla, who's not here today, but I think Karen and Mary wanted to be part of it too. Is that correct? Or Mark, are you part of it as well?
Mark is as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Can I just clarify something about the list, the mailing list? If someone can send anything they want to send me for new people, I'd say in the next 2 or 3 weeks, great. But for when I finish with it, I'm giving it back to Mary. And I think then we need to let Mary deal with the changes and the ongoing changes. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Or
that's fine.
Okay. All right.
And I would assume she would also, who gets our mail? Is it Mary?
Mary primarily. Mary, is that right?
Return to sender.
I'm not seeing her. She's shaking her head. Yes.
Yes, I do receive all of our mail, even our return to sender mail. Clearly, I haven't had any this year. Actually, no, I had one 2 weeks ago that I have in a file folder specifically so that I can update the donor list because their mailing address is no longer correct. It's what I used to do with the previous mailing list is I would go through and mark people out. And if I had like a secondary and it didn't reach them, then I would just completely delete them off the list, or at least their address off the list. That's just kind of how I've done it in the past. When it gets to my part of things, I have some stuff about donor list stuff that we'll talk about in a minute.
Okay. All right. portfolio management.
Peter.
Well, that's really part of the treasurer's report. That's
Okay.
what Terry and I really want to agree on the investment policy before we do any portfolio management. A lot of the securities in the account are securities that Bruce McLaren placed there that have done quite well over the years. I don't love the stock market here. I think we're going to have a challenging next 12 months. Which is why it's very timely for the board to approve an investment policy statement. I need to pivot because I forgot to mention as part of my treasurer's report, I also sent a proposed budget for 2026 fiscal year, which runs from November 1st, 2025 to October 31st, 2026. And I work with Pat Clark on that, and I look at the payroll and I look at other expenses, and we make COLA adjustments and that kind of thing. So it's not that sophisticated, but we are showing something like a $55,000 budget deficit in terms of our revenue forecast versus our expense forecast. So anyway, that's what I put forward to the board as a proposed sort of look at the budget for next year. And I just forgot to mention that earlier.
Is that what your hand just raised?
That's why my hand was raised. Yeah.
And Peter and Paul and Mary, not Mary, I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. But anyway, sorry, Terry, Paul, and Peter. I did have a conversation this morning with oh my God, David Schwant, because Terry and I had a conversation. I brought it up. Anyway, he would not be interested in being a committee member, but he wouldn't mind sitting in and he'd offer opinions if asked. So just so you know, he's open to the idea of if you need more feedback or anything, Dave is would be interested in doing that.
He'd be at large, I guess.
The unpaid consultant.
Yes. Well, I think he does okay. All right, radio.
Oh, that would be.
Radio?
Just give me a couple seconds.
He needs a couple seconds.
Matt, if you had a red hot hat, you look like you're from the North Pole.
No, he does.
Let me use this for you.
The radio does not have an official report. However, last board meeting, we sent the board guidelines for governance of the committee. When we asked the board to review them, the committee has approved those guidelines pending TPAC board approval. So.
What about your survey, Matt?
That's just started. I haven't even looked at any of the results yet. So Kevin might know a little bit more about that, but.
Yeah, that was me. I did a survey. Pretty helpful.
No, I think it's a great idea. I mean, they filled it out.
Yeah, we've got like 30 responses so far. And yeah, it's kind of helpful answers to help see what people want, and kind of fun.
Who did the survey go to? All landowners? Or how?
No, it was just online. So we put ads on the radio and then put it on Facebook. Yep.
Well, does anybody here want anything to discuss regarding the governance guidelines for the radio station, or would like to pass a motion to approve it?
Did you read
Matt, what do you need?
We need a motion and a second to approve. I don't know if not enough of the board has read it, then
I haven't read it yet, I'm sorry.
but
I haven't read it either, Matt, but can you share the screen and just put it up quick?
Yeah.
The link, maybe?
sharing the screen's probably easier.
Oh, did no one hear any of that?
Nope.
Oops. Oh, I was trying to say I'm recording a Christmas play for the Island Players for the radio.
Oh,
And there
fun.
were about 20 people there last night, I think.
And there were about
And
15 on Monday afternoon because I was there then.
yeah. So I
Excellent.
think that'll be really cool. And I
Fun.
think they'd like to do, I think he said maybe one a month or something. So that'll be cool.
Who's that?
Yeah.
That's Dave Rainey.
Dave Rainey? Okay.
Yeah, he took over for Howard and Joanne. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's the sitch.
I think
But
he's,
that's exciting.
yeah, sharing that with Donna Russell. You know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Donna was actually there on Monday afternoon too.
Okay.
Yeah, she was there last night also. And that will be airing on the radio and our website on Christmas Eve and Christmas or something like that.
Fun.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. Share. There we go.
Matt, why don't you read that aloud to us?
Oh, Peter, for heaven's sake.
I can't read it from here.
The whole thing? All right. The Washington radio station governed by the True Blood Performing Arts Center, TPAC, hereby known and referred to as this document as WISL Island Radio, is administered by a committee of no less than 3 and no more than 11 individuals, 2 of which will be TPAC board members or selected by TPAC board with committees. Acceptance by majority vote. Meetings shall be held regularly, at least on a monthly timetable, and may be held virtually. Records by either recording or minutes will be required for all meetings. CPAC board members are encouraged to attend all meetings as audience members. Any subcommittee may be created by majority vote of the committee with notification to the TPAC board. Mission statement is the mission of the Wilson and Carroll True Blood Performing Arts Center Island radio station is to provide and maintain a worldwide public radio broadcast on which creativity may flourish and to encourage public participation in production and content. The radio station shall provide local entertainment and information for the residents and tourists of Washington Island and all of Door County. Purpose statement is a TBA. Governing rules and operational guidelines. New members may be proposed by any committee member and accepted by the majority vote of the committee. There are no term limits for committee members other than optional term limits for TPAC board members. Resignations must be in writing, and removal for cause requires 3/4 of all other committee members. No prior written notice is required. TPAC board must be notified of all membership changes to the committee. Officers are chair elected by the committee to a 1-year term and a max of 2 terms consecutively, and a vice chair is appointed by the chair, no max on consecutive terms. TPAC board shall be notified of all leadership changes to the committee. There is not currently a vice chair at the moment. Quorum will consist of greater than 50% of the members of the entire committee. Each committee member shall have 1 vote per voting action item unless stated in this document. A simple majority greater than 50% of those in attendance, once quorum has been established, will prevail the action. All non-budgeted expenditures over $250 must be approved by a proper vote as established in 4.1. budget of the committee must be accepted by majority vote and presented to the TPAC board for review. However, approval of the TPAC board is not required for the committee's budget to be accepted. All conflict of interest on any agenda item must be disclosed to the committee prior to the agenda item being discussed. A committee member may participate in the discussion but must abstain from any vote on the item in which they have a conflict of interest unless the committee by a 3/4 vote waives the conflict of interest. These rules may be amended at any regular committee meeting in which the said amendments have been presented in writing to the whole committee with at least 1 week prior to the meeting. All amendments require 2/3 vote for full committee and the majority vote by the TPAC board to take effect. If WISL Radio chooses to sever their relationship and oversight by the TPAC board, a unanimous vote of the entire committee is required for the severing to take effect, at which time all restricted donations to the TPAC for the purpose of WISL Radio will be given to the 501c3 that WISL has established or the 501c3 that WISL Island Radio has decided will be their new oversight organization. This action requires written notice to the TPAC board and either proof of the newly established 501c3 or an acceptance letter by the new 501c3 oversight organization prior to the severing vote being on the agenda. While not required, the committee accepts that the Robert's Rules of Order shall be the guiding principle for operational meetings.
I have a question.
Yep.
How did you all come up with all this?
I wrote most of them, and then the committee edited the ones that they felt.
Here's my opinion. I think the executive committee needs to take this under advisement, meet on this.
Yeah, I need a little more time to read this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that be, are you okay with that, Matt?
I'm fine with you with it.
I mean, I do agree with Peter. So. Anybody else?
I think we would all, I'd love to have a copy of it too.
It was sent to all of you by consent.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, Matt.
It was for the last meeting, Kathy, sorry.
It's okay.
You know, my sister's name is Kathy, and for 60 years, my dad has called us Carthy.
All right.
I mean, not that for what it's worth, it seems pretty good to me. But
Okay.
I
All right.
understand that the executive committee needs to kind of see it.
Sure. All right. Any other discussion? All right. Can we go on to the director's report? Hello there.
I think that's a good idea.
Can we go on? So I wasn't sure if you were going to get permission or not. I wasn't sure.
You may.
That was your cue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Things are pretty tied up in certainly the Christmas show is coming together on December 6th. I'm going to back up a little bit to tell Tom, I don't know if he's still on or not, that I did get out and cut the trees, and to Terry, I did cut the trees down, all the stuff down on the septic system. So they're down. I haven't hauled them all off yet. I was going to bring the loader down and throw them in the bucket and bring them to the gravel pit, but got that done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with the Christmas show, it's coming together nicely. It's going to be a fun show. And I went over to Donna Russell's yesterday and met with her for input and with Karen Taylor. And now she's not going to lead because Larry's been having some eye problems and stuff. So she's going to be here. So I could feel the reins just being pulled out of my hands like a runaway horse all of a sudden. You know, she suddenly got this, it's great, man. I just step out of the way. And so she's costuming people and in touch with people, and it's a nice variety of kids and humor and Christmas songs, and like the bell choir from Lutheran Church is going to play, and so it's just yeah, it's a nice variety. So that's been taking time. I also reached out. I know the money end of things in grant writing has been a shortcoming on my part, so I reached out to people in the county that I know that both do it as they did it for the one girl. Her father and mother own the White Gull Inn, and she did it ad hoc, kind of on a per basis. I don't know how she did it though, for the Peninsula Art School. So I emailed her, and I emailed also the lady that used to be in charge that started her own company now at the art school, and deals and all that kind of stuff. Trying to find somebody at least to lend some knowledge to this. And
I do grant writing. I've done grant writing, and Karen does too.
I know you have, but I don't know how, and please don't, I just didn't, we've talked about it, and so I didn't know where to go with this, and in terms of how to find even where the grants are, that part of it, there's a site online that tells where grants are available, so I'm trying to narrow some of this stuff down, so any help you can give, Nina, that you're willing time-wise,
This is the time when I have time, Julian. I don't have time in the summer, but this is when I have time.
Okay, that's great. So let's communicate or however, I'd love to talk to you. Are you on the island, by the way?
I am, yes.
Oh, okay. I am around other than I go down Saturday. I play the Door County Auditorium for a fundraiser with all kinds of musicians. So other than that, I'll be back.
But I'm also kind of thinking that this should really be under the purview of the Marketing and Fundraising Committee.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who? Again, I just want to figure out what I can do to motivate this, because it all takes time to find them and write them, and so I don't know what to do.
But also it's important that we know what we're fundraising for. So Julian, you tell us what you need fundraising for. I mean, apart from general operating, which we've already talked about this afternoon.
Well, certainly for shows, because we usually lose money on shows, unfortunately. So certainly there's trying to get for programming is one of the things that I want to work towards, however that works. I can go out and beat the bushes in the community trying to find people to sponsor, but it's just, I got a call from, an email and a call from the friend that Terry Meyer does the Big Top Chautauqua up in Bayfield. Terry Lundvall, who does the booking for the Peg Egan Center, and she went from kind of a $5,000-$6,000 per show, or $8,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 now. So because they had, I'm trying to, for the Wayland Jennings or somebody, that they had 2,500 people out in the field, that they don't charge for it, but they get sponsored by the hospital and by the Egg Harbor Business Association. Anyway, she called, and there's a group, it's a 6-piece, and I'll send it out. I think they're really good. They're more of a country-ish, but really, really good. But she thought she would kind of pick up some of the slack, because I think they get that 8,000 to 10,000, but she would pick up some of that for them to come over here, but it still would be $4,000 for us. But trying to figure out how to, how to raise money for this and not let it be a drain on the theater. That's trying to get the money beforehand. So anyway, that's kind of it. So I just, what do you got, Karen? Kathy? Karen?
So, so there's an organization called grantwatch.org.
Yes.
It's a really good organization that I've found a lot of interesting stuff there.
I've been looking.
But I'm also conveniently working on a project for the college right now, looking for the big fundraisers. There's a database that is not accessible to everybody, but the Allentown Public Library has it. The big universities don't seem to have it, but I will glean whatever I can from there too, in terms of funding the arts, bigger, looking for bigger money, right?
Okay, any,
Uh,
and again, certainly need bigger money, but I'm right now even just working towards the programming and trying to think about that
Right.
stuff. I know that,
Julian,
yes, yes,
I think you should join this committee on revenue
okay,
fundraising. And I think it'd be nice if you shared some of your communication and get
okay.
in the loop with them.
Tell me again who's on the fundraising, it's,
Everyone.
Well, Terry, Nina,
basically everyone,
Other than me
Okay.
and
And Mike. And Tom.
okay. I say, who's?
Okay, by the way. So it's,
Julian, you need to know it's the fun people.
Yeah,
right, there you go. It's the fun people.
I mean, I would suggest that December, apart from the solicitation that's going out, December is kind of a quiet month. I suggest that we actually all try and get together as many as we can in January and really hash this out, because it's not something that it's easy to do in a board meeting.
And we need
Yes.
a plan, right?
Yeah, no, totally. And so I appreciate it. I just don't know, I'm a little green at that part. I'm very green. So I will find out who's on the fundraising committee and
I haven't written.
she isn't here. Okay, then
also,
I'll
by
be
the
in
way,
touch what I learned too. What?
Paha, winter-wise, is a good
Yeah.
time to actually flesh out those kinds of things, because a lot of them do the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
They might have theater-based stuff.
And
that
we're
might be
meeting
helpful.
tomorrow, so
Oh,
I will
perfect.
be talking to them too. And maybe you want to join us tomorrow too? Can you?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you.
what day is the show on? December's,
6.
is that what day of the week?
Oh, a Saturday.
Saturday.
And if you have any spare cookies that you're just looking to get rid of, that are getting like close to the expiration time or something,
Why don't we talk when we get closer to the show?
yeah, okay, I'll talk to you closer to the show.
Okay,
Keep your eyes open for expiration.
happy to do that. All right, assistant directors report.
Hello. So I sent a lot of very big files, so I apologize if everyone looked at them and was like, no, I'm not reading that. It's fair, I understand. Starting with our analytics report for the month of November, well, I guess the end of October, November. Our second behind the curtain coffee house, I believe, is where we left off. It had a smaller group, but similar to the first round of it, people just kind of trickled in and out, which is kind of the nice part about that particular show. It wound up being actually our smallest show of the year, sorry, with only 22 people in attendance at its largest peak. I tried to keep count of people coming in and out. So those are included, but I might have missed a couple of people, so it could be higher.
Way higher.
We made $195, which is still pretty decent and well within what our average for free will donation shows is, which is $886, I believe is what that number says, very tiny at the bottom of my screen. The Bradley Jordan fundraiser presentation went over really well. There was a decent turnout. It could have been bigger, but we also only had a week's notice before that happened, or a little over a week's notice. So that just goes to the need for advertising and the importance of doing that. The Island Band concert went over pretty well. It had 78 people in attendance. We have raised $647, which is decent. That also gave the Island Band $119.10, which is great for the Island Band as well. In case anyone is wondering, the way that profit splits is that it is the total minus $250 for our operation costs, and then they get 30% of that remainder is how we do those splits. We had the town hall budget meeting as well as the Veterans Day Assembly. Town hall budget meeting had 78 people in attendance. The Veterans Day program had 206, so that's really awesome. So both of those events went decently. Hi, Liz. Sorry. We have our grand total of the year including Bash, at 49,424, which is decent. It'd be really great to have a significantly larger number, but clearly we're at the end of the season and can't fix that. So we're gonna work on that for next year and just aim for higher. My next point that anyone have any questions about analytics? No, excellent. Next point that I was going to go to is just a real brief overview of the massive list of shared documents that I sent. Clearly the marketing plan, marketing committee is really who's paying attention to that. Same with the social media packet. If you care to look through that information, you are absolutely welcome to do so. If you have any input, please let us know. I think that's just helpful just in general. The musician writer, if anyone has any notes to share on that, that would also be very helpful to kind of review and get some notes back, because clearly we're going to be starting to send out writers soon enough. And then we have the grounds proposal for the 2026 fundraiser. Clearly that also is more the marketing and fundraising committee than anyone else, but still that's one of those things that it would be really great to get more input on it, simply because starting in January, we should probably be ready to somewhat go with that so that we can start talking about it, writing articles in the Observer during the months where we don't have other things to be talking about, really get the promotion and information out there at the time where we have the ability to do so, because we do have a much more captive audience than we do the rest of the season. Yes?
I was just going to say that the thing about some of the things that are proposed in that proposal are tangible things, and it's tangible things that we can actually ask the Community Investment Fund for. So it would be a good thing to discuss in relation to the Community Investment Fund.
Absolutely. So like I said, when I originally proposed any of this, I have never written this kind of fundraising proposal before. This is my first go at it. So I imagine there are other people on this board that have definitely done those kinds of proposals before. That is where I really would love some input. That's very helpful input right there.
Okay.
And I think it would be important to include at least a placeholder in the 25-26 budget, for what we may think, we're going to spend next year on these improvements.
Very fair, but we also, you as a board have not necessarily accepted the proposed fundraiser yet. And you can't accept the proposed fundraiser until those things are written out specifically how we would like to have them presented. Specifically because if we start presenting this idea to other people, there are donors that I know very well that are absolutely going to immediately ask for that proposal. And they're going to want some exact numbers, the exact information, and they're not going to want it to be edited after receiving that proposal. So it would really be awesome if we could kind of solidify that plan a little bit, because that's going to help with our fundraising letters in the future. That's going to help with our articles through the winter, our email campaigns and stuff like that we do over the next 6 months while we're getting ourselves prepared for the next season. Which is why we just need to sit down and actually get a chance to do it. Just like Nina said, we have a lot of things that we need to sit down and talk about as a subcommittee. Because we need to get those details fleshed out so that we can give it back to the board for board approval so that we can go forward with that plan. If that's even a plan that y'all would like to do, I don't know.
I don't think we have any choice, Mary.
Well, there is that. That's a very fair point. We definitely need to do some big fundraising. I think that this is a good start because it's going to give us something more tangible that people will actually get to see the result of said fundraiser very directly. They'll get to see what we did to the gardens. They'll get to see if we put in our digital sign. They'll get to physically see that money be put where it's put. That's part of the reason why I feel like it would be very important for us to get those details hammered in and get going with our fundraiser for 2026. Yay.
Well, and we also already have a large donor.
Oh, that's true.
That's already pledged for a portion of this, so I agree, Peter, we have to go ahead with this in some way, shape, or form.
So someone's already said that they're going to fund some of it.
It's a former board member who, when they left the board in a little bit of a contentious manner, which is why most of the board that is still remembers that board member when they were here was surprised that they pledged the donation, but they pledged the donation. So taking advantage and mending that is something that is highly beneficial to the organization.
So that's kind of interesting because that's the first time I was looking through the proposal and what wanted to be done, but maybe I missed it. There was nothing in the proposal that said that actually some of it's funded.
Oh, can I just, Mary? I spoke with that ex-board member, and I kind of think there's maybe a slight misunderstanding. And he's very interested in that sign, but that's the extent of where his interest is.
Oh, no, I'm aware of that, which is why I wrote the proposal I did, to separate everything out individually as sections. The reason I separated it out that way is because you are very right that the discussion that I had with said person, he was very specific about the sign, and I told him like, oh, like, are you gonna help us buy that sign? And he's like, if you put a proposal together for me, I absolutely will. And it started as a joke, and then as we continued talking, I was like, how about this? I'll do a fundraiser for that sign, and then you cover the cost if I don't hit my goal. And he said yes. And I have since then confirmed with him in a separate conversation very recently that he's still in agreement specifically about the sign. He is not talking about the rest of the proposal. He is talking about specifically covering the end of that part of the
Okay. All right. I'm glad that you're talking to him. But that's all I just want to make want to make sure that, anyway, you got it. So
I'm working on it.
Terry raised the point that there's almost nothing in the budget for fundraising and grant writing. So Terry, I'm simply going to ask you to review the proposed budget and confer with your committee and recommend an investment amount that needs to be budgeted.
Fair enough.
okay. Mary, anything else?
I do have three much faster points, or well, I guess two more faster points. With that proposal, I have currently started working on an Amazon list. I have spoken with Julian, Kevin, and Tom for things that can be purchased off of Amazon. I also had Matt give me some ideas for, we've had musicians ask about musician chairs and clip lights for the stands and things like that, which that's separate. It just happens to be on the same list for this moment. The purpose of it being is that it might be helpful to like put on the website a link where people can individually go and buy specific things, because they might not necessarily want to just donate the money. They might want to buy a specific item. So I have like gardening tools, and I have a gardening shed, because they had the grounds committee had talked about needing a shed. I'm like organizing things for the garden shed and little things that they need, like the oh, what's the word I'm looking for? The edging on gardens has a specific name that I cannot think of at this moment. But like stuff like that we need for our garden maintenance. It goes along with items that we do have from our proposals. I'm making two separate wish lists. One of them is these are our wishes and dreams. One of them is directly a list that goes with the proposal that we're talking about for 2026. The next item that I'd like to talk about super fast, the Observer articles are very difficult to write during the winter. I only have so much content to write about, other than clearly at some point I'll probably write about this proposal we're discussing in this moment. But what I would really like to do is to actually do board member highlights throughout the winter. I think that it would be really good to have one or two board members per month, because they're monthly. So we only have, I think, 4 months of available observers to do this in, where we pick certain board members. It kind of Q&A. Here's a question. Here's my answer. I can write up a list of questions. You choose which questions you want to answer, however you want to do that. I think it would be really helpful for the community as a whole, especially if we're doing a big fundraiser, for people to know who is in charge of that money, who's making the decisions on those kinds of things. I think it would help with a lot of donor trust to be able to do that, and to bring all of our board members forward. I also would like to go backwards and put up the pictures that we used to have. We used to have a wall of pictures of all of the board members with little detailed descriptions of who they are, why they're working for the TPAC and stuff like that. I think that that's very helpful for our audience members to get to know us a little bit more. We are a very small community. There's no reason that anyone should be hiding behind the curtain. Everyone's right here in the open.
It's a good idea, Mary.
Thank
You
you.
don't have to yell.
Thanks.
All right.
I think it'd be helpful. Last item.
That was 3.
That would be Donor Box. And this one's really fast. I've mentioned Donor Box before. It is a system that is, it works really well with Wix, which is our website server that we use. Wix or Donor Box is a singular place where we can put our donor list. It's a lot easier to manage. It would be a lot easier for all of us to have access to it, to be able to add, remove, do those kinds of things. And if you don't want anyone else to have access to it, and you only want like me and Kevin, who are the only people who use Wix, to have access to it, that's fine too. That would be your own choice of how that would work. I think Donor Box and donor tracking would be really helpful, because it shows us where we need to push more and where we need to push less. Because I know that I feel that some of our donors may feel that they constantly get hit up for like, hey, I know that you gave us $500 6 months ago, but maybe you want to donate another $500. It might help a little bit more with evening out how we speak to our donors and how we reach out to them, just as a helpful tool for the future. And that's all I have.
All right, Mary, thank you. So President's report, I really don't have a lot. I really want to move on to the old business.
Nina has something that she wants to say.
Okay.
I just wanted to follow up on Donor Box. This is a database. It's a very basic database, but it's a database, and it's something that TPAC does need. I would not necessarily immediately go for Donor Box. I understand that it has, I understand that it works with, is it the accounting stuff that you use, or it's something that you already use? Is that right? You talked about Wix?
Wix runs our website.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But there probably are better databases. I mean, there are a lot of them out there, lots for people doing fundraising and various other things. So before you jump necessarily for Donor Box, let's have a discussion about that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've looked at quite a few donor systems. I know that some are like on the higher priced end of, we don't fundraise enough to be able to afford them, if we're being honest. But also, you're very right. There are lots of different systems. I would be more than happy to go through other systems and see if there's something that we would like more. Donor Box is the one that I tend to come back to when I start doing research on it. Is the only reason that that's the one I'm suggesting.
And it may be the one. It's just that there are plenty of databases who would be very happy to talk to us.
Absolutely.
Because
Mary, I have just my concerns just on the first touch or thinking about this. Some concerns about security or confidentiality of our donors. I don't really think we have this follow-up where we keep hitting them up over and over again. We're not that organized. It'd be nice if we were, but I just think that if I would love to get a more detailed report from you and Tom or whoever's, or Kevin, or whoever's kind of exploring this before anything is done with it. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going forward with anything until I have approval from y'all to go forward with something.
Okay.
I'm just,
All right, thank you.
Here's the deal. We need to go forward. We need to figure out what it is we need and we need to move on it.
Yep. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. All right. Can we move on? The president's report. I don't have a lot to report. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and I want to get to it in the new business. So I'd like to go into the old business, if anybody wants to talk about that. Anything in old business we want to revisit. All right, then let's get to the new business. Nina brought up bookings for 2026 to be promoted. And Julian, I don't know what you know about what's booked, but I think Anita, maybe you'd be better to explain this than I can.
So next year is America 250. I don't know why I'm talking about it as a Brit, because it's not it's not necessarily something that
Well,
I
the
know a
Brits
lot
had something to do with it.
However, the Heritage Alliance of Door County, which is the group of history and organizations in Door County, which Jacobson's and Maritime Museum are both part of, are actually focusing their theme for their promotions next year will be America 250. So it raised the issue for me, are we at TPAC doing anything for America 250? So that was all I wanted to bring up. And really, I guess, Julian, is it something you've thought about? Because
that's all I think about. Absolutely. No, I have not thought about it. So I'm aware, but I haven't got that far yet. So thank you. I'm going to write that down right now. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, but
I mean,
do we have
obviously
anything?
going to focus on the 4th, but the whole year is really going to be events and that sort of thing.
Okay, sorry, Peter, did
Julian, in my interpretation of this ask, which I think yours is better than mine, but is that do we have anything booked or that we can talk about to other donors or things that we can say, hey, this is what's coming up this year?
I'm putting together a list of stuff right now. I mean, most of the people that I talk to trying to piggyback haven't even started booking yet, at least in the county and people like that. So I have people I'm looking at and communicating with about playing, but I don't have anything booked in yet, other than Donna Russell has June 27th or 8th, whatever date that is, that Saturday. But
for the Deer Rhoda?
Yeah. But other than that, just getting together.
Well, the Deer Rhoda is something I think we can hang our hat on, like help promote it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Starting letting people know to make plans to get your ticket. I think it might be a reading by different people out of Chicago. I don't know it that well. All right.
Mary and I have an idea, so thank you, Nina, for this. Yeah. But Mary and I have an idea, and we just came to it, so it's going to take some time to flush out. But I wonder if there would be an interest if we can try and pull together a combination of a production company working with our existing whatever Island Players is existing right now and doing some form of 1776.
Yeah. I love that.
Anita's excited.
Never mind. We'll start singing. It's a good song. It's a good show.
Let me work on that.
So it coincides with Lafayette College's 250th. So I am so saturated with 250 right now. Well, but it's coinciding with the big anniversary with Lafayette. So I'm saturated with 250.
All right, we'll share some.
Good idea.
Okay. All right. So I think the bylaws have been sent out, the changes. Everybody got them?
Yep.
Everybody have a chance to read them?
Yep.
All right, so that's up for discussion.
Well, I have a concern about the ability to remove a board member if you are talking about that, for instance, if there are 10 people on the board and you have 60% there for a meeting, then a majority of the people could vote someone off the board. That means 4 people could vote off a member of the board.
That's why
That
it's
doesn't
important
seem
to
to
be
me
at
to
the
be
meeting.
enough people to kick someone off the board for any reason.
Yeah.
Because the way you want to make the change, they could be kicked off for any reason.
Well, the state of Wisconsin statutes says you need a quorum. That would be for us, it would be 6 people. And you're right, 4 people would be a majority. And we made it 60% and not 50%. But anybody want to chime in on that, give an opinion?
I mean,
Matt?
to answer Paul's question, we could just simply set a minimum number, that,
Well,
majority
how
of,
many board members do we have right now, Mike?
11.
Okay.
yeah.
And like
It,
we have
it would
9
seem,
at the
it
meeting
would
right
seem to
now.
me there should be 2/3 majority of the board to get rid of someone. That's just my thought.
Mhm.
All right, that would be
Just
7
for
people.
just for clarity's sake, Paul, once you reach quorum, there is, in our situation, there is very little difference between 60% and 2/3. I am also more inclined to make that a higher number. However, for clarity's sake, quorum is 6, 2/3 is 4, 60% is still 4. Like, there is no.
I'm just saying that if you do under your specifications, there'd be 11 board members, and it would take 4 board members in that meeting to get rid of somebody. And I think it should be more than that. That's all.
Here's what I think. I think whether or not board members are at the particular meeting where there's a quorum, I think we're gonna remove somebody from the board. We need 60% of the full board, whether they vote by email or in the meeting, to actually remove a board member. That would be my feeling.
All right. Mark, did you have your hand up?
No, I was just resting my head there.
Okay.
But I like the last suggestion. I mean, to Matt's point, given the size of the board, some of these, the number question, as a practical matter, doesn't change things, but I like the idea of, 60% of the board as a whole. So we avoid the question that Paul raised of, we have a quorum and 60% of the quorum. That's a little bit different.
Okay. I need a little more clarity. We have 11 people. If one person's being removed, 10, we have 10 people that can vote. How many of those do we need to pass?
7.
Mhm.
If you do 2/3, are we talking 60%? It would be 6.
Yep.
And I agree with what Peter outlined. I think it should be the full board, proxy or present.
I think 60% of the full board should be adequate to remove a board member. I don't believe a quorum is relevant. I think we need a vote from the full board, whether they're present or not.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I agree with
I
that.
agree.
What if you have a board member who doesn't come to meetings?
They can vote by email.
They still count towards that quorum then in that case, Mike.
Okay, we don't have that situation that I'm aware of, but we've had it in the past where a board member never showed up. And then when the August came, they just got dropped. But I'm glad we don't. But
removing somebody from the board, we need 60% of the full board, whether they're present or not. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
okay,
I think it's good.
so it's 7 people,
Just though.
No.
right?
Yeah, well, the full board.
No?
It would be 6.
Well, the person who is being considered to be kicked off can't vote.
Yeah.
So it would be,
True.
it'd be 6 people out of 11.
Okay, well, that's, yeah. Is that different than what we've, oh, we just said quorum.
Of course.
It
Yeah.
just said quorum
We're
Yeah,
just changing from
all right, so
quorum
let's,
to the
okay,
full
to the
board.
full board.
so by using email or we can get the other votes.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, so we'll make a change to the bylaws.
Can I make a comment on the other part,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
3.01? So all the boards that I have either had contact with or sat on has always had a conflict of interest waiver, always. And it's something that you sign every year. It's an annual thing. So
Oh,
I
really?
have no issue with the conflict of interest waiver at all, or the statement of board expectations. I think that that's sensible because it's makes things clear as to what you're expected to do on the board. So that's great. I do have a query about an NDA because I've never been on a board or had contact with a board where they've required an NDA. So I'm confused as to the purpose of the NDA. That's what I'm asking.
I've been on some boards where, and maybe it's because it's performing arts centers, that we've had NDAs because artist contracts and some of the boards, because of the fundraising, the feeling was that we needed to be assured of donor privacy and those issues. So I found that at least some of the boards I've been associated with, we have had those. I don't know that it's not on every board, but some have felt that.
And I'd say that if the general consensus is that people are happy with doing that, then that's fine. And
Yeah.
I'll, I'm not going to say I'm not going to sign one, but I do. It's not
Yeah.
something that I've encountered before. That's all.
I think on the boards that I was associated with that had them, they felt that it was more specific and drew more attention in a specific way than to sort of the general idea that stuff should be confidential on the board. It was especially with, as I said, with the performing arts centers where we're dealing with real estate issues, large capital campaigns, artist contracts of various kinds. It put a finer point on things that there are some things that not only because of the business needs and policies, but that the expectation of the other party was confidentiality. So our artist contracts often in the contract itself had a statement that said this is confidential, and certainly with various campaigns, capital campaigns and others, it was our foundation asked for us to have this because they wanted it to be very pointed that any conversations surrounding donations were expected to be kept confidential. And so the NDA was a way of drawing attention to these things and being very specific, aside from just the general expectation that board members are expected to keep things confidential.
So I operate as a fiduciary for a living. And I really don't have any problem with this. In fact, I'm more comfortable signing it than not signing it. Because I don't like my open-ended role as treasurer. I would rather have these sort of principles in place. That's my feeling.
Anybody else want to comment on the NDA?
Well, if you have an NDA, does that mean that every conversation that you have on the board or whatever happens, you should never share with anyone else that's not on the board?
Well, I think it depends on the conversation. There's certain conversations on the board that I would consider confidential, like if we're talking about,
Mhm.
well, fundraising. Like we have like Attic Angels. We don't know who they are. They're anonymous, but should you talk about it in the community about who you think it is? You might, we don't want to upset whoever this anonymous people are. And that may be a poor example. I don't know, anybody else got better
Yeah.
examples than I
I
do?
mean, the kind of examples that we had at Hennepin Theater Trust, for example, one was donations, that we might have someone considering a large donation, there's ongoing conversations, or someone might be talking about a family bequest, and there was ongoing conversations, and we wanted to be clear that donors have a right, an expectation of privacy, that we're not going to be out in town and saying, hey, gosh, I heard that Mark Nierenhausen is, considering cutting his kids out of the will and putting the money at TPAC or something. The other area that was very often we'd be talking about deals that we got on the artist side. Someone knew someone had an association, an artist wanted to play here and gave us a deal. And artists would get upset because that would ruin their negotiating leverage with other places. And so they wanted things to be confidential. And then certainly any conversations at the board level regarding compensation, employee issues. And so, yeah, there's a whole lot of things that should not be outside of the board meeting. And I think the thing with the NDA again is generally people have pretty good discretion and understand that, but this sort of puts a little bit of a warning sign or a guardrail there that it's like, okay, before I assume that, oh, it's fine to go talk about, we're thinking about booking 1776, maybe I shouldn't say that stuff. So that was how we viewed it at Hennepin and some of the other places.
I'm going to send a copy to each board member and employees, because employees are also part of this. And for example, like if, let's just say a donor on the island gave us a fair amount of money, and you resigned from the board, or your thing ran out, and you were on another board on the island, and then you go, hey, I know so and so gave the TPAC this amount of money. That would be a confidentiality. So our confidence would be violated. And that's my opinion. But
no, I understand that. I'm just thinking those to me are like obvious things that people wouldn't do anyway, hopefully.
Yeah.
But if there are things if there are things that we may not be thinking of, I'm thinking, does that mean we just never discuss anything about it?
I might discuss the
What is it?
TPAC finances with somebody in general, but I would never give somebody a financial statement or an income statement who wasn't on the board.
Oh, I know, nothing like that. I'm just thinking, I'm just wondering how far it goes down. Can you have conversations about something that we might be doing that would be, what would they think about that? Does that sound like something fun? Is it everything about the board? Or is it just financial things?
I read the NDA only once and it seemed to spell out certain things. I think it's fine to talk about TPAC in the community and in any number of ways, as long as you're not violating a trust or a confidence. I think that's
Right, that's what, yeah.
Well, I think Kathy's point is quite valid, because what one person might consider revealing a trust or confidence may not be what another person considers that. So I think we have to be very clear on when those moments happen. And Kathy's quite valid in her question, because what's one thing for one person shooting the breeze is absolutely confidential to somebody else.
Yeah.
I just think you can't talk about the director and the assistant director at all.
At all.
Ever.
well, I mean, there's another thing. It's confidential. Is what the pittance we pay you. If we that's something that we shouldn't be talking about with other people. Anything about a contract that you might have or whatever, employment.
Yeah, I think as a rule of thumb, it's partly a degree of specificity, that that's generally things that are confidential. It's okay, like, hey, we're thinking about this show or that show, or or things that have to do with specific strategies. So I think in terms of conversations, yeah, it's always fine to talk about, hey, here's some of the exciting things that we're doing. Here's what the organization is doing. But, I don't know that it would be appropriate to say, wow, unless the radio station agrees, for example, to release it, for us as a board to say, wow, we were at the board meeting and I can't believe how much the radio station made at the fundraiser, because unless we make that public, those are so I think in general, the kind of stuff that NDAs are designed to protect are things that are considered trade secrets, specific financial things, or things that could have a specific effect on an individual. But certainly generic stuff that we talk about, like, boy, we need to raise money, we need to do more with the grounds committee. Those are absolutely fine.
I might even say we ran a deficit of like $40,000 this year.
See, I would think that would be private.
I wouldn't, it's graphic, it
Yeah.
lets the community
I
know
would
that-
think that would be private too.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't,
See, I wouldn't
I think,
consider that
I don't know.
private. I would
I think-
consider giving the financial statement private, but not conversationally letting them know we run a deficit, because we do
I
every
know.
year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah, sort of those general statements, those
Yeah.
generic statements. I don't think that's the issue so much as the degree of
Okay.
specificity, where it's
Okay.
like, hey, I mean, at the Broward Center, for example, yeah, I'd get up at every group I talked with. We lose money every year. That wasn't a secret. Now, I would not always feel comfortable going, well, the loss last year was this many dollars and cents. That was kind of a
Yeah.
board thing. So yeah, there's
yeah.
the generic versus the degree of specificity.
And I
Yeah.
guess it's the difference between what's in the public domain
Yeah.
and what's not in the public
Mhm.
domain.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, anything that's in the public domain or that we make public or publish, that's,
Mhm.
That's not.
that's not subject to, it's all, yeah, the confidentiality has already been waived in that case.
Another example is that we have the radio station, for instance, has a donor who has requested to remain anonymous, that is donating for the first 3 years the radio.co subscription at a certain level. Now the board and the radio station committee members theoretically could know that the donor has donated money, because that name is available, but the fact that the donation is restricted and anonymous towards that individual item, I am the only person that is aware of who that donor is and how much they are donating to that. So, like, that would be an example
I'll be here.
that the specificity is protected.
I mean, even to the point as if someone says, they have an idea, a suggestion for someone to perform at TPAC, and then saying later, oh, well, they would have been great, but they were just way out of our price range. So we couldn't hire them. And they were, well, what's your price range? Well, from what I know, it's like usually 4,000, 4,500 is our top, unless it's like somebody major who comes and we all agree on. But is that part of the conversation that we wouldn't talk about?
No, I think my sense is that would be okay, because that kind of stuff is sort of general,
Yeah.
it's general, it's non-specific,
Yeah.
and it's sort of widely understood. Now,
Right.
if we booked something, or if we got an artist that said, boy, I know Julian, I want to do a favor, and my fee is usually 4,000, but I'll perform, just pay my ferry fare. They might not want that known,
Exactly.
because,
Yeah.
Door County Auditorium's going, well, wait a minute, we just paid you $8,000 and you,
Right.
so it's that degree of specificity again that
Yeah.
we should not assume that any artist's fees are public knowledge, or should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a quick question of clarification. Is staff also signing NDAs as well?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to check because that makes total sense. Just
Yeah.
curious.
As soon as this board meeting's over, I'm gonna send a copy out for everyone. And one thing we didn't talk about at the executive meeting is who's gonna hold these NDAs. Is that gonna be Matt, our secretary? Or who's gonna hold the records?
I mean, if I get digital sent, then I have no problem storing them, but hard copies need to be stored here at the building.
Yeah, we need to do this digitally, for sure.
So, I mean, I know Terry signed and sent me, I signed, I haven't.
Okay, but a copy by email would be fine, attached? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
All right, any other questions? So there's not gonna be a board meeting in December, but we probably will call a meeting to discuss the bylaw changes. We need to make sure it's at least 10 days, so we're probably looking, we get that modified again, we're looking sometime at the beginning of December. And we'll just reach out to see if we can do a Zoom meeting. That work?
That'll work.
Just for clarity's sake, I will make the edit to it to be 60% of full board, but since it is a change of something that has already been given written notice, the 10-day clock does not restart.
It does not. Okay. All right.
And to
All right.
follow up on the other two items, conflict of interest as well as statement of board expectations, we'll get together as a governance committee and hopefully publish those documents soon as well, prior to the
Yeah,
next.
we can send those out.
Okay, great. Mark, what time do you get up, or how soon do you get back to Minneapolis?
I get back to Minneapolis Sunday night.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else?
Oh, can I throw something out there?
Sure.
I think it might be helpful to think about doing a TPAC survey in the off season, because then you might get an idea of
Yeah.
what people would like, or because I remember you did one years ago, and I mean, just to do it like an online one was super easy to make.
I think
Might
that's
be
a great idea. I
because
like
we
that
got like
idea.
we got a whole list of potential volunteers from this survey that I'm gonna follow up with. So I don't know, it could be helpful.
I think-
How would
I
you
think it's a-
reach out?
What was that?
How would you reach out?
I mean, you
Social
just
media.
put something online. We also have the whole our whole contact list on our website, which is a couple hundred people or whatever.
Yeah.
You could put it in the Observer as well.
You could also
Yeah.
put it on the virtual bulletin board.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it is, it's just like a Google a link basically. So if you put it in the Observer, you could just put a QR code or whatever, and that would go to the TPAC Gmail, and everyone could look at it. It's been pretty helpful to me, and I think you'd get.
Kevin, do you remember
some
who
good-
did the survey before?
Before it was like an in-person survey. I don't remember who did it, but it
I
was
think
like,
Lena, or not Lena.
Could have been Letha who did it.
Yeah, Lisa used to was doing those.
yeah, but there was only 12 people or something
He did
there.
focus
And even
groups more. That was
yeah,
it.
and even that was pretty helpful too. It'd be kind of nice to be able to revisit that, but
Was that with Allison Vernon? Is that was her name?
I don't remember.
Oh, she's on the island.
Yeah.
Allison Vernon?
Yeah,
About her?
What about her?
she with Letha, she kind of was the leader, or the, what do you call it? Ran the meeting.
Let's see, Mary says that she
Oh.
wrote the survey stuff.
No, I thought that was the lady out in Jackson Harbor that did this survey. Not Mary.
Allison, yeah.
Allison. What did I say?
Vernon. You said Allison Vernon.
Yeah, what was her last name?
Murray.
Murray.
Yeah, Allison.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She and her husband they live in Colorado. They come to a lot of the shows. So, yeah, she works.
I think we should absolutely do what Kevin's doing.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
thinking about Allison Murphy.
Murphy, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Allison. Yeah, because she was in marketing. She still does that, and she was doing those questions and
She's a
questions.
friend of Delzell.
Yeah, but she's a friend of everybody. She's been on
Well,
the
I
island.
remember seeing the answers to that survey when I was moving old file cabinets, so it's still up there, but
Yeah,
it was pretty interesting. And a
yeah,
lot of the people said too many shows, and that was back when we only
yeah.
had one show a week. So,
We were just getting
something
started
to think
back
about.
then.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
It,
were.
it could be a helpful thing, and if you
Yeah,
need any help, it was pretty easy uh, for me to, you just think of questions, and I
yeah.
don't know. It's
Kevin?
it's the off season, and it's when we're trying to book, so could be a good
Well,
Kevin,
it
time
can't
of
be a
year.
bad. It can't be a bad thing. It would only be a good thing.
Oh,
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
you were trying to say something?
I was just going to say to Kevin that I'll get together with Letha and see if I can find, what list of questions she had before. So I can send those to you so that you can include some of the previous questions if you want continuity.
yeah, and if anyone has questions or ideas of questions, then maybe put them in some kind of email, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'll send you some, Kevin.
And basically, if you signed into like the TPAC Google account, you could work on the survey, and all of you could see it, so you can make edits or whatever. But
Okay, good.
yeah, I don't know. That's the thought.
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
See ya.
Or we'll do a
Mary?
motion to dismiss.
Mary?
No, I was just to follow up on Kevin's. It was something I was going to be discussing with the marketing committee because I had seen how well Kevin's thing had been going. It'd be very easy to do all of those things. All I need is the questions, and I can have that out in less than a week. So put your thinking caps on, start sending me stuff, and we can get things going.
Mary, could I just say one thing about marketing committee? Is marketing committee like putting new frames and everything in the lobby? Can I be on that committee? Because I always wanted to put frames up for you to put posters up in the lobby.
Yep, we already have the frames. We already have the ideas for the posters that we're going to put in it. We just have to have the posters for next year to do
Okay,
them.
are they like large frames, like movies theater? Oh,
They
that's
are.
great.
So
Okay.
I think that's not marketing committee though. I believe that would probably be
The frame committee.
no, that'd be buildings and grounds. That has anything to do with the building itself. So
Okay.
we would need to discuss that with Terry and Tom.
Kathy, do you have your picture ready?
No, no, it's huge. It's huge.
Going back to our previous
wearing?
conversation about the bios, if everybody wants to start working on their bios and sending me a pretty picture of you, I can start getting those together to put in the lobby for next year.
All of us wrote bios back when we joined the board, I think. So we all ought to have them handy. My point, it should be quick.
And we
no,
should use the old
I might
ones,
still have them in my old archives.
the real old pictures.
You're going to use that picture from 15
I
years
never
ago?
wrote bio.
Yeah, I'd say, but there are definitely new members. I probably have some of the old bios and photos. I have not looked that far into my old archive files yet.
Okay.
So if we would like to do a refresh, or you can find your files and
Yeah.
send them to me, that'd be great.
Are we going to try and do a dedicated place on the window at Manson that we've been talking about for like 10 years? A place, that's like an enclosed thing for all of our posters. All of ours, like 2 a week.
There is like when you come walking up to Mans, and before you get to the door on the right, coming from south, there's a poster board there for.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Well, no, not the middle between the two doors. This is through the window. There's something that they've set for us to put stuff on.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Although other people put stuff on there too.
It's supposed to be just ours. No one else.
Hey, we've been doing this an hour and a half. Are we
Only
good?
TPAC space, no one else.
Motion to adjourn.
That's a first, a second.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Second.
Okay, see a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you.
Peter's
We'll see
chomping
you.
at the bit.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
See y'all.
Yep, good meeting,
Bye.
guys. Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
y'all.
Thank you.
So the 1776, is that a play or a musical?
Hold on.
It's,
Who cares if they hear?
well, fair.
It's a musical.
That's what I thought.
It's a great musical. It's also a song.
I haven't seen,
And it's a movie.
And it's a movie.
okay, so, okay. I like, musical might be better.
Well, the movie is a musical.
Okay.
Where's
Like
my
across the
fucking?
universe.
So we would act it out, or people would did the music, that's what you're
So,
thinking? Or-
it would probably, honestly, if Island Players